Today we have a real treat for you on Across the Fence. We'll not only see some beautiful landscape plants and a beautiful landscape, but one that's finished and one that's in the process of being renovated. Hi, I'm Leonard Perry with University of Vermont Extension. Today I'm in Bristol, Vermont at Rockydale Gardens. From flowers to shrubs, Rockydale Gardens specializes in hardy, one-of-a-kind plants. In their nursery you'll find dwarf varieties of shrubs and conifers. Or take a stroll through the display garden for inspiration and design ideas, unusual plants, and how these plants look when they're mature. With me today is Ed Burke, owner of Rockydale Gardens. Thanks so much, Ed, for being with us today.
No problem.
Now, understand this landscape wasn't all this way 30 years ago when it was set up.
No, it wasn't. Actually, Bill and Holly, the former owners, bought it in 1981 and started the gardens. And the former owner had vegetables and fruit and berries and nuts, and they were going to turn it into an ornamental garden. And so they started filling the place up with a lot of different, unusual conifers and trees and shrubs and perennials, and creating these gardens. You know, that had a really nice look to it, and a lot of people enjoyed it, but I wanted to create a vista where you could actually see some of the mature specimens. As gardens mature, they change, and this one had really grown up and needed to be viewed from a distance.
Well, I think this is a great view too, which I think is so important from a house, from a patio like this, where people spend a lot of time, to have that kind of vista from where you'll mainly see it.
Right, well, this is my think tank. This is where I sit, I look out, so of course I took care of my view first.
And wanted that inspiration. Well, tell us how you got inspired. What are some of the features you added here? It looks like a very nice patio area.
Well, it's very interesting. I put in the circle, the stone circle, as a place to sit, as a place to go to, because I like spaces in gardens. I like to go to places that you can do something in. There's a fire pit in there, and I haven't used it very much yet because I'm busy, but it would be nice to use it. But the wave was an idea where I just wanted to do something sculptural. I had a huge pile of soil that I wanted to do something with. And so one day I was just walking around here thinking, what am I going to do? And I thought the idea of stopping a wave in motion would be a very interesting thing. And I knew I could put green roof material on top of it, which we haven't done yet. But my friend Lou Knopp, who's a welder down in the Middlebury area, he happened to stop by, and I was telling him my crazy ideas, and he said, I can do that. I can build a wave. And so what he did was find a big tank, and he cut it in half, and he came with one of his welders, and we actually installed it together so that we did stop a wave in motion. So it's an earthen wave, and that's the only reason it's there. It has no purpose. My sisters say, what is this for? And I say, it's not for anything. It just is.
It's beautiful. And let's see, a nice little sitting area here with plantings down below, like a little rock garden.
Yeah, and that was another thing we did. That was where a group of hazelnuts were, and my idea was to enter the garden, which we do over that direction, and then we walk through, and then you can come and sit and overlook, because there are a number of trees, really nice specimen trees. We have the Japanese tree lilac, we have merle magnolias, we have stewardia, we have weeping beeches, to name a few.
Yeah, and purple weeping beech is just quite attractive. That really catches your eye in the distance.
And that's one of the benefits of having a garden that was built in 1981, that the owners planted some very interesting plants that are now mature. So that's one of the positives.
Well, I think, once you mentioned they were mature and you've taken some things out, down here in front of us, this looks freshly planted. I understand you took out a couple mature plants.
Yeah, so we took out some Japanese tree lilacs.
Like the big one that's there right now.
Like the big one there. Wow. And created a more open space, and we pushed the garden back and actually created more lawn here. But we took it away, we took the lawn away on this side. And so we're going to be creating a garden here that has larger drifts of perennials and some shrub massing. And so we just went through and weeded that out so we could see what what we had, and we'll be planting pretty soon.
Tucked away behind a wall of conifers, this dwarf variety of blue Lacecap hydrangea is thriving. Although not typically thought of as a plant that grows well in Vermont, there are new winter-hardy varieties of hydrangeas available. They bring a pop of color to landscapes in late summer and fall, and Lacecap hydrangeas are a favorite of pollinators.
This is a fairly protected site. We've lost a lot of conifers in here. This is called the conifer dell, and one of my greatest challenges has been figuring out what to do when things die here. And when things die out, I have to put in more deciduous plants that have a tendency to fill in.
So there's a beautiful one, speaking of conifers, coming up here. Is that a Korean fir?
Yep, that is a Korean fir called silverlock. And you can see that underneath the needles are recurved, and the silver undersides, they almost look like a bottle brush.
Yeah, that is
Beautiful,
just gorgeous.
beautiful fir.
And then this looks like a ginkgo up here.
Yep, and we have a number of different ginkgos here at Rocky Dell, and this one is called Chi-Chi. It's a dwarf ginkgo. It might even be jade butterflies. It's hard to tell. Sometimes there's very little difference
Well, the
between
ginkgos are
them.
interesting with that kind of triangular leaf, and they're a very historic plant too.
It's the
species go way
oldest
back.
living plant, yep.
Boy, this is a gorgeous specimen here.
Yeah, bottlebrush buckeye. This has also been in the garden for many years. It's a great woods edge plant, can tolerate partial shade. So for all those places to transition between a lawn and a woods, it's great for that middle layer.
Well, it shows a kind of mature height too, and I'd love to see all the pollinators on it, bees and butterflies.
It's great for insects and great for filling in that gap between up to 15 feet.
We're on the other side of the bottlebrush buckeye in a whole different scene here.
Yeah, this is a spot we haven't really touched. This was initially developed as a potager, or the kitchen garden for Bill and Holly.
Wow.
And so there's a beautiful crosshatch arbor made out of black locust, and 4 quadrants in here. We have
And this
hardy
was vegetables
kiwi.
and things,
This was
herbs and
vegetables
things?
and fruits and things like that. This area is completely overgrown now. We haven't touched it. It's the arbor's falling down, and so this is our big project for this fall.
And so what was your inspiration? What did you decide, if I were faced with this, it'd say where to begin?
Oh, God,
Was that your question, where to begin?
yeah, that was my question all over Rocky Dell, is where to begin. But this, I long ago, a few years ago, I decided this can't be a kitchen garden. It's way too far away from the house to be a kitchen garden. And so I thought, well, what am I going to do? It's very romantic. Everybody who comes here loves this arbor. And it's just so hard. You have people associating all these good feelings with it, yet from my standpoint, it needs to be gutted. So what I've decided to do is actually level this area and start over, but keep parts of the arbor as ruin, and then keep some of the plant material. But what I want to do is have masses of perennials and a path through here, and maybe a tower or something that someone can climb and get an overview of the site, and it'll emerge into the area that we've already sort of cleared out on the other end of this. We have a beautiful beech hedge here that I'd like to restore. Makes a great side of a room. It's a great wall. So it will be enclosed and feel like a room. You enter it, and it will be a totally different space than everything else. We just have to wait for the cool weather.
There's some trees here that separate it from that original space
We have
we
a
saw.
woody border all around that's well established, and
So you're going to leave those
And
to
so
be
we'll
like the
leave
wall
those,
of
yep.
this outdoor room here.
so there'll be ways to enter this space, and we'll have better air circulation through here. We have a lot of disease on plants because there's no air circulation. We just don't get here. There's too much going on. I need to simplify it.
Well, sounds like that's one way to do it. Just start from scratch, basically. And will you take some of the arbor down and reconstruct it, or try to work around it?
No, I'm going to try and keep a few pieces existing just the way they are. Like this part with the honeysuckle on it, I'll just keep it like a triangle section. But we are going to try and make the land level here. So when you come down here, it is flat like a room, walls like a room. And it's really
Just like a
totally
secret little
different
space down here.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the arbor.
Okay. Watch your head.
Okay.
Don't lean on anything.
This is really a lot cooler in here, Ed, with this nice arbor and all the shade. Several degrees difference.
It is several degrees difference, and arbors are really wonderful for creating that. That's what tears my heart out about taking this out, is that there is a space down here that's very comfortable and interesting, so I'll have to recreate it somehow.
I can see it's being taken over. This, I understand, is a pawpaw tree, and these are the babies here?
Yeah, if you look right here, you know, we've got pawpaws everywhere. Now, when Bill and Holly planted the pawpaws, clearly they were an interesting tree that's not hardy here, and they grew. And now, of course, they're doing so well, they're starting to colonize, and that's what pawpaws do. They form a colony. They grow along stream banks in the south. And so that's not going to work here in this little space.
Well, a couple of interesting things there. An unusual fruit, for one thing, but it's not supposed to grow here, but we're in Vermont, so how do you explain that? What's your zone here?
Yeah, a lot of people ask that because they always say, you grow things we can't grow. But I think everything we grow here can be grown in Burlington. However, we are in a microclimate. We're zone 4 on the map, but we are at the base of South Mountain, which is Green Mountain National Forest. We're in this nice little valley, and it gets lower past us. So we have spots here that are zone 5, where we definitely have spots that are zone 4, and we might have a couple of zone 3 spots, and we in some winters have zone 6. I'm sure we do. But yeah, we have a lot of woody plants that are not hardy in other regions of Vermont, but that all depends on your elevation. We're about 550 feet
So
here.
I think one message there is a lot of landscapes have several zones. So if something doesn't grow in one, it may another that's more protected.
That's
and then
right.
the other message I think that we're seeing here is that, you know, once something's planted, it may look good, but it's not like a painting. Landscapes change.
Well, exactly. I always tell people that putting in a landscape is very different from putting a floor in your house. You put a new floor in your house, looks shiny, looks great. You expect it to look like that for all the years you have that floor. And it probably will, for the most part. But a landscape changes every year. And the pawpaws are a good example of that. They lasted as trees for 20 years probably, and now they're doing well in colonizing. It's something totally different. Out it has to go.
So if you're going to have a landscape over the long haul, you need to plan on some change.
Well, landscapes are organic. They change. It's a moving target. You can't, if you want to keep everything the same, you're better off putting in fake plants.
This area is a nice lawn. Looks like, has it always been this way, Ed?
Yeah, it's a breath of fresh air. No, it's not been this way. This was like where we came from. It was a jumble of plants, and of course I just cleared this. Sometimes you have to clear just so you can see what you have. So I cleared this out, and this will be part of the room that becomes.
So all connected into one
all
space.
connected,
It'll be like this, except I guess you mentioned you'll put perennials in.
Well, the perennials will come up about so far, and then we'll have an open area here, and hopefully we'll have a place where we can have events back here against this beautiful stone.
That is gorgeous. You know, going up there, all this stone and trees. Yep. Are you clear any of that out?
Then we're going to clear that out. There's an ephemeral waterfall that we have in the spring. It's quite beautiful. And then we'll plant a lot of Zone 5 woody plants back there.
Real protected area there.
It's a very protected site. So that's a little jewel of a spot. And then we'll open up over here a little bit more and be able to have like events such as weddings or something back here, and this will be a nice little room to come into.
Looks like a little wet area stream through here. You gonna leave that? Or?
And so we'll open that up. It'll be low, a very shallow pond back here, but a small one right against the stone.
Here, yep.
So hopefully we get some nice reflection of the stone in the water. And again, that's sort of ephemeral. We have a stream that storm stream that feeds that, and a few springs. So.
Well, this is a gorgeous tree. Is it going to be spared the axe? Yeah,
that's spared the axe. That's a blue beech, and an understory tree grown out in the open. It tends to get broad like that. It's
amazing how a plant will change the habit just depending if it's in a natural situation, if it's in an open, whatever. And it looks like you've got more specimens all in through here. I assume you're going to be cleaning this out a bit?
Yeah, we'll clean it up so we create some negative space. We have oxydendron, we have more ginkgo, we have a golden box elder, we have stewardias.
So will you just clean out around those and then leave those so they have a little more space, you can see them?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, in my head, I always see it and I always think, oh, I don't have to do it because I know what it's going to look like, but I have to do it for everyone else.
I hope you've picked up some ideas today and some inspiration. For more landscaping tips, visit my website, perrysperennials.info. Thanks to Ed for our visit today and to you for watching. For UVM Extension, I'm Leonard Perry.